that earlier. Okay, yeah, we got Scott Howard live. This is Robert Brooks Authement, Administrator of Cyberpunk Hacking Security and Intelligence. So I'm really proud to have Scott with me today because when I was young, I used to play a game that some people have heard of. It's called Dungeons and Dragons. And I always liked being the dungeon master. And the dungeon master's job was to tell a story for the adventurers. And the adventurers have to essentially figure their way out of the riddle and puzzle that you make. And so a dungeon master's job is to assemble players. And the players usually consist of somebody who's like a fighter, somebody who's like a wizard, somebody who is a healer, and then somebody who's a thief. And there's also another person in the group who's very important when the group is starting to get more renown and get more exposure, and that guy is called the Bard. And Scott Howard is a level 20 Bard, and I am super happy to just have his cooperation in raising anonymous awareness today, because this is about Anonymous, the Million Mask March coming up on November 5th, which is Sunday, November 5th, 2017. Last year I was in Washington, D.C. for that. Scott, have you been to Washington?
Absolutely. Who hasn't?
Oh, when were you in Washington last, if you don't mind me asking?
I was in Washington probably about 2 years ago, somewhere in that area.
Hey, your voice volume's gone down a little bit. Can you get a little...
Yeah, is it better now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, good. I'll stay in front of the mic.
No problem, boss.
Good.
Yeah, and last year when I was in Washington, D.C., and I'm just burning a little bit of time, Scott, so I can share these. Takes a minute
Sure.
for me to click and for the window to populate. But we'll get you playing a song here real soon. So last year when I was in, it's such an interesting story. I don't have time to go into all the details, but I basically hitchhiked to Washington, D.C., or I made it to Illinois, and then I was arrested. I left,
Right.
yeah, I left Colorado. I was on probation. I got arrested in Illinois illegally. They just literally nabbed me. And you got to have a just cause to arrest somebody. So even though I was on probation, they didn't have the right to pick me up. And I was down for 5 months, and I got out. I saved up enough money for a bus. I went to Washington, D.C. I slept on the lawn of the Capitol building out there. And I said, hey, man, if I'm trying to work for Uncle Sam, then Uncle Sam's going to need to go ahead and foot the bill so I can sleep here. And I did. And some cops pulled up and they said, hey, what are you doing here? And I said, look, I came from Colorado. I'm trying to interface with the United States intel community. I came out here. I heard the call of the Lord, and I came out here.
Oh,
Yeah, against all odds. And they said, enjoy your stay. And they hauled off on their bikes. So I slept there for quite a while before I ended up in a very dark ghetto in southeast Washington, D.C. called Anacostia. There was a homeless shelter I stayed at there, which was a wretched place. It was a low impact shelter, and people came there drunk on all kinds of drugs. I might have hung out and smoked some wacky tobacco with some of the fellas, but the ambulance was coming there 2 or 3 times a night to
hey.
haul people off. So I eventually got into like an employment program, but life was not going the way I needed it to go. I got a suit from the employment program. I was around, minorities. I stuck out like a sore thumb out there. So long story short, November 5th was coming up. And so I said, I'm tired of this. So I went back over the river, back into D.C. proper, away from Anacostia. I went over the Anacostia River, and I started staying downtown again, between Union Station and the Capitol. And I hooked up with a group of people who were doing Anonymous. And, man, during that protest, that demonstration was fantastic. Somebody handed me some spray paint and some some stencils. I had a Guy Fawkes stencil. We got video of all that and stuff. And I actually got arrested for dropping like 75 tags on the sidewalks. I figured to myself, yeah, it's kind of bad, but the sidewalks can be pressure washed. No biggie. Let's just do this. Let's go for it. And I got arrested, but I had talked to Capitol Police and the Bureau of Investigation earlier because I wanted to let them know, hey, we're doing this. Anonymous is coming out. I'm not sure what you know. And Capitol Police told me, they said nobody signed a petition for this. We need somebody to sign an application or a permit for protest for demonstration. I said I'll do that. I'll put my name on that, and I did. And Capitol Police was the people who arrested me. Nevertheless, after we got everything straightened out, they patted me on the butt. They gave me 6 months unsupervised probation and said get back to work. Right. So,
Right.
but my other friend was a little bit more bold, and he actually was at the J. Edgar Hoover building. He spray painted across the metal seal for the FBI, and he
Oh
sprayed
wow.
corrupt. And then at Trump Tower, he sprayed "We suck" or something like that. And I mean, political things aside, I support President Trump. I work for President Trump. But it was just funny. We were enjoying ourselves. I call it a demonstration. I really didn't have anything to protest so much, but I was demonstrating our functionality. I ended up at a yoga studio in Arlington, Virginia, on the block with DARPA, and my life has never been the same since. Scott,
Ah,
what do you think about
fantastic.
that?
Well, considering I had Donald or the president at my wedding, I would say I love the president. I think he's doing some great things, and I'm obviously for what he stands for. So I'm very proud to have him as president, and I've lost a lot of relatives for that, but otherwise, it's all good. It's all good,
It's
and that's
funny.
why I've written a lot of these songs.
Hey, it's funny that you say that you've lost some relatives over that, which is indicative of the divisiveness in the current
Hmm.
political spectrum of our nation right now. Could you speak to that for a minute and what you think you see is happening right now?
Well, I think really the country itself. I don't think they really know what they want. I think that our world is getting to a precipice where it's can go one way or the other, and we're hoping to God that the direction that man takes is an ascension. And I think that the earth itself is going towards an ascension right now. They're calling it the event. And I think that man, we're hoping goes in the right direction. That we have to start making the right decisions. We've got to stop polluting. We've got to stop killing the wrong animals. We've got to stop killing ourselves, quite frankly.
The earth
Every,
shall shake off her burden.
yep, I agree. And these are the songs I write. In my way, I want man to awaken. I wrote a song called "Awaken," which I'll play later on for you. This is really what we have to do. We've got to go back. I hate to the '60s, but back in the '60s, man, or the kids, the teenagers, they stood for something. They knew. Maybe they didn't know what they were protesting for, but they knew that something wasn't right. And I believe we have to know today something's just not right. And I hope that our president can put us in the right direction.
Amen, brother. And
Yeah,
where government may not fulfill some of these requirements,
that's where we come in.
absolutely. That's where the anonymous ground soldiers, the cyber hacktivists, the gray hat hackers step in. And I think that yeah, you nailed it with what you said, man. And the only thing I consider sometimes is that a lot of times this confusion and this misdirection that's occurring in the field may have something to do with um, everybody who's active right now just trying to do their best job. So,
Mhm.
so the president's executive branch has been hindered by the uh, legislative branch, and the executive ground officers or operatives are being hindered by the judicial branch. is as seen by my frequent and unwarranted arrests. That's at a few points which were ridiculous. This most recent one was really ridiculous. But I'm not trying to get on my soapbox here. But let's just say they arrested me for buying a knife from Walmart, Scott. Yeah, and I got some of the worst um, outcome from that. Um, but I think we're ready for you to play a song, man. I'm trying to share this all over the place. I don't know if we have a lot of live um, listeners yet, but this will be shared far and wide across the interwebs, and we'll be there, man.
All right, well, let's play a song.
All right, let me get this down, and you're set to go, sir. Thank you.
Sometimes it's all right to be afraid. This is not that time for you and me. We want the land of the free, a world of peace, full of peace and harmony. But beware of false saviors, their lies will put you away. It's time to open up your eyes for the meaning of your life. From the light of your purpose, every man's connected to you and me. I'm taking back the truth. I'm forsaken from my youth. I'm done and will be what I want to be. I am the anonymous man. That's who I am. Take me, take me as I am. No man, anonymous man. No man destined to be free. The human race finally one for you and me. But beware of false saviors. The lies will put you away. It's the new age of man, and the feet have feet of clay. I'm taking back the truth. I'm forsaken from my youth. I'm done and will be what I wanna be. I am the anonymous man. That's who I am. Take me, take me as I am, anonymous. Every man, no man, ascending to be free. The human condition, finally free. But beware of false saviors. Your mind will take you away. Time to open up your eyes for the meaning of your life. From the light of your purpose, the truth is expected from you and me. I'm taking back the truth. I'm forsaken from my youth. I'm done and will be who I wanna be. I am the anonymous man. That's who I am. An anonymous man. And every man. Not a lost lamb.
That sounded fantastic. Excellent.
Thank you. Just getting warmed up.
So we were having a little bit. I tried to text it to you. The guitar was just a little quiet. However, that came out pretty well. I would give it about 3 out of 5 stars. The gain on the guitar was hard to
The
hear.
gain's too low.
Is the gain going through the computer, or is it just coming out of the speakers?
It should be going to the computer too. Hold on, man. I'm gonna try plugging it in directly.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. No problem. We did this for a while before we started the broadcast. If our listeners can just bear with us, but I can chatter off and keep it from being dead air here. Yeah, Washington, D.C. is really a fantastic place, and Marching with Anonymous was also fantastic. But we're going to steer the conversation to this year's boogeyman, which is known as the communist funded mob scum Antifa. And I had never heard of Antifa in my life. I knew that there were sometimes people who marched with Anonymous who were not really affiliated with Anonymous. They didn't wear the Guy Fawkes mask of freedom. They didn't really hack or do any computer stuff. They didn't believe in the same things, but they would go because they were interested in anarchy. They were anarchos. So last year, I was intending to go to President Trump's inauguration. I had a suit and I had a tie that was like an American flag, which was really cheesy, but I loved it. And I wanted to put that on and go be among the flocks of sheep who were, congratulating Trump on his inauguration. And what ended up happening was at the yoga studio where I had been interned for my stay. And much thanks to Frank Mochnick and Zara Vaesi, who were my hosts there, owners of the yoga studio. If you ever end up in McLean, look up Sirius Yoga. It's SIRIUS.yoga. They really got a great operation going on out there, very organic, and they are some of the coolest people. They really represent Anonymous and the anarcho-capitalists. They're successful business people who didn't want to work for the man, and they're just great at what they do. Long story short, the anarcho-communists, the same people I protested with in Anonymous, they show up at the yoga studio and move into my room, and operations begin. It starts out to be a very stressful weekend. So we're downtown, and I'm surrounded by black-clad hooligans, and they're all covering their faces. And I didn't have the mask on or anything. I just had my suit on. I was wearing a jacket because it was a cool day. And there were shit loads of people out there. I mean, I cannot tell you how many people there were. Just a total mob. And I look around and I say to myself, who are these people? What's going on? And they tell me, they're like, this is Black Bloc. This is Antifa. And they all start chanting as if to answer the question I was asking in my mind. They start chanting, we are your friends. You'll never be alone again. And now I've come to identify an enemy on the scenes, the Anonymous Construct and Anonymous official channels on YouTube, which I highly recommend subscribing. Anonymous Construct and Anonymous Official on YouTube to catch some really great non-mainstream media news. But they're out there and they're putting a lot of videos out against Antifa because these radical left liberals have really abandoned their liberalism and embraced their radicalism. And I know that because I watched them destroy a Starbucks and a McDonald's and a Bank of America, a federal armored Suburban, and set fire to a limousine. I have footage of their vandalism, and I have photos of the limousine. And it was almost done like it was like a setup because it was just so perfect. These people are armed with bolt cutters, lighter fluid, bricks, hammers, and other destructive kinetic devices. They are a menace. And I mean, I know I was out there spray painting the sidewalks with a stencil. It said expect us, which I, interpreted as expect US. But Antifa's out there literally destroying stuff What have you heard about Antifa, Scott? And what do you think about uh, vandals who are funded by George Soros and other destabilizing elements?
Um, I have heard of George Soros and the things he stands for. I don't appreciate the way that part of society has come forward. I think that it is not a function or a positive function right now on our planet. He is created funding for a negative aspect of our culture, and I think that we need to continue down the road with what the president has set forth. We have to awaken. We have to wake up. We have to realize that the old ways don't work anymore, and we have to come up with new ways, positive ways.
That's fantastic, man. So yeah, I like to tell people who protest and complain that it's easy to thump the problem. It's not as easy to devise a solution. Uh, Music is perhaps one of those solutions, is that we can communicate to each other at a higher level and express ideas that are maybe not as easily expressible in everyday conversation because of social mores, which I find rather hindersome to the transference of truth. So with that said, you have another song for us, Mr. Howard?
Sure, I'll do a couple more. Not a problem.
Let me just get the microphone ready, and you're good to go when you're good to go, sir.
All right. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Yes. I can't hear you. Yeah, okay. I'll make it louder. Can you hear it? Hold on. All right. Let's try this again. Oh, I see what it is. I know it's better. Okay. Got it. All right. All right. All right. I'm changing the guitars. Sorry.
What's up, boss?
I'm going to change the guitars.
Oh, okay, all right. That's a cool guitar, man. That double neck was a 12 string.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, let me hear this real quick.
It doesn't sound. Look up and I see stars out tonight. Look up and I feel things just ain't right. Look up and I hear dolphins cry. Look up and I wonder why. Don't you want to know what is? Do we really exist? Is life but a flame? Star burning out is the same. Look up and I see things have changed for me. Look up and I hear the ceiling has rearranged. Look up and I hear people cry. I look up and I just know why. Have we lost our way? Will we be here another day? Are these the end of days? Will we be here to mend our ways? Oh, da 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 da. Awaken, 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 awaken. Da 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 da. Look up and I see stars came out for me. Will they move tonight? Prove that we are right. Life is everywhere. Just expand your mind and care. Are we all the same? And are we all to blame? Save your life today. Always keep your head up. Banish hate today. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Awaken, 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 awaken. Oh, and look up and I see life is right for me. Look up and I feel things are more real. Look up and I hear the Lord's eyes on me. Just keep looking up and you'll see the whole universe is yours for free. Awaken, awaken, awaken. awaken, awaken, awaken. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da, da-da, da-da-da.
Fantastic. What a great message.
Huh?
What a great message.
Yes.
All right, man. You were your confidence, man. You got to it's now's your chance to perform. It took you a minute to get into that, but by the end you were sounding stellar, sir.
I actually need some water. That's what I need is some water. The mouth is getting a little dry.
I'm drinking a lot of coffee. Go ahead and get you some water, man. Just take your time. I'll play a song in the meantime.
Yes. If you have that Mother Earth is on the CD there.
Okay. Let me see if I can find that real quick.
It's the second one.
Let's see. I'm looking in here for your Mother Earth.
It should be number 2. Number 1's, number 2 is Mother, or that's a good one, Mother Earth.
I just got so many emails. I'm not sure which one it's in. Do you know?
It should be on the Google Drive, and I don't know how. I think it does it in reverse, so it might be the second to last or the number 2.
Let me take a look if I can nail it down here. If not, you might just have to play it for us, boss.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I found it. I should be able to play this. All right. Looks like we're on Mother Earth.
Majestic Mother, flawless grace, with fertile form and shiny face, we Savior now, our mother's love. How long we wait, the children now. She breathes her life unto our own, all gifts received from her alone. Why then do we not seem to care and leave our house in such disrepair? Gifts we don't appreciate, we take but don't reciprocate. We one day soon may be without a mother's love we can never doubt. A breath of wind between two walls, so within. It's time for the great gathering of this place. It's time for the whole peace to rest the human race. Yeah. Time for life, a time for death, time for strife and a time for Lent. Tears of the sadness brought on by the madness. Support is to ensue the gathering to save all of you. The earth is in danger of losing Everything from our hard neglect will cause us soon to pay the cost. Our mother's endless love now lost. Contemplate just what we share. Acknowledge our dear mother's care. Her mother rushed under attack. It's time for us to love her back. It's time for us to love her back. It's you. Changing mother, flawless grace. With further form and shiny face. We Savior now, our mother's love. How lucky we, the children of. How lucky we, the children of the earth. How lucky we, the children of the earth.
It's the social conscious song, rock and roll.
Fantastic. Oh man, your studio stuff is killer. Woo! Okay, we got through that successfully. Hey, it worked. Sorry it took me so long to find the song, man.
That's okay.
Wow, that came out stellar. Oh, I had something I wanted to. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up. So I'm gonna switch screens now to my web browser, and we're gonna take a look at your website. You want to tell me a little bit about Zen of Planets, what it means, and what where we're going with it, man.
The Zen of Planets, actually, the song the name came to me out of the blue. I don't know where the name came to me from. But lately, a lot of things have been coming to me out of the blue, I guess. The website was a function of, I started the YouTube channel, The Thinning Veil, a number of months back. And I had some interesting things happen to me. And people loved the music. They wanted to know where to get the music. So I started the website, and I took a lot of the photographs that I had taken, and I put them on the website. And if you go to the website now, you can see some of the very interesting photographs, anything from clouds to photographs that I had taken at night. I took a photograph actually of I don't know whether it was an alien or a ghost, but it showed up in a picture I took. And I think you actually have it. You might have it in one of the things I emailed you.
And right
But
now,
if you go
I
to the
am
website,
on your photo page looking at them. Is there any photo you think I should call up specifically?
yeah, well, you'll see some of the photos there. Everything from that huge elephant, but they call that a mud fossil. The elephants, where they talk about the Titans millions of years ago. That these beings were literally miles tall, and they are finding them all over the planet right now. And but you'll also see the photographs of the ghosts that I've seen, as well as the cloud formations that are literally higher beings. They're higher frequency beings. You can see them on the website there. I seem to be able to see these now, where the clouds are not fluffy little clouds. They're actually aware beings. And as crazy as it sounds, you can literally look at the pictures on my website and you can see everything from birds to fish to live beings, literally in the
So
cloud
I've got a
formations.
picture pulled up right now that has a few circles. It's kind of a aquamarine sky, and it says there's spheres or orbs, and I'm seeing that. I'm seeing these circular formations that is very it's kind of telling, I think.
Yes, there are a lot of orbs that are showing up in the photographs. Now you're seeing two suns in the sky, depending upon where you are in the world at the time. I've seen as many as three suns in the sky. And I've had photographs of two suns that I've taken in California. But a lot of strange things happening in our skies these days. People are just not looking up. They're looking down. They're very worried about their lives and what's going on in their world. And they need to start looking up and realize that there's a war going on between good and evil. And our president is fighting it right now. He's fighting between good and evil right now.
Well, amen to that.
Yeah. But you'll see, if you go to the website, you can see a lot of photographs of beings in the sky, or you go to my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see, I've got, oh my goodness, 15 to 20 YouTube channel videos that are on right now that talk about the waking visions that I've been through.
Speaking of YouTube, I've got a quick video I want to play here. I thought it was freaking hilarious, so if you'll just bear with me while I play. It's just a 30-second long video, but I thought it was so hilarious, and it really embodies it summarizes what is going on and how deeply the Soviet infiltration has affected the deep state and government. Right here, it's summed up in one of these thug life moments with President Donald Trump. I'm going to just play this real quick because it's too cool to miss.
You know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how much Donald Trump would appreciate that because they put the thug glasses on him and they stick a joint in his mouth. But I gotta laugh about it because what happens is Hillary. It's during a debate between he and Hillary says, well, it's good that we don't have somebody with a temperament such as Donald Trump being the president and making decisions for our country. And he says, because you'd be in jail. Boom, and throws her in the dirt, and then they put the thug life on, and it's just silly. That's why I love the internet. Memes and animated GIFs and these broadcasts and Facebook and YouTube videos are the new communication medium. It's really the new art, and people who are able to keep up with the continual input of the new art and are able to share and broadcast that stuff. I mean, we're on a whole new wavelength. And when President Donald Trump, his first stop after being inaugurated president was old headquarter buildings in Langley, Virginia for the Central Intelligence Agency, he probably had a dual purpose there to say, hey, I'd like to raise awareness about the company and show you guys a little bit. But he probably also needed to rein them in because it was a big changing of the guards when President Trump got elected. And one of the first things he said to the people who were present there at the headquarters was, we are on the same wavelength. Scott, I think you and me, we're on the same wavelength, brother.
Yep, absolutely.
So, Zen of Planets is really cool, and we can get your music here. Is that correct?
Yes, you can get the Zen of Planets is available now right there. And the Ascended Man in the studio right now, finishing up that one as we speak. I've got one more song here that I wrote called Anonymous that I can play for you. And then that'll be available on the site as well.
Yeah, I would definitely love to have you play a song. Hey, man, you guys who are watching this right now, Zen of Planets, it's going to encapsulate the spirit of our guest, Scott Howard. He's got some fantastic ideas. He sees the unseen. He's selling this thing for $8 American. Okay, I mean, he's not even asking the $15. He put a 47% discount on there. 1947 is a very interesting year in history. 4 plus 7 is 11. Numerologically speaking, that's a power number. Help empower our 20th level bard who has just made it onto the scene. We're going to make this guy into somebody bigger and better than he's been in the past. We're going to push his stuff out there. He's got ideas and the ability to vocalize and encapsulate and promote these ideas in the musical forum, unlike anybody with whom I've cooperated in the past. $8 for the Zen of Planets. You guys should buy a CD. I think you should buy a CD. I think you should click thezenofplanets.org, go to the store, and buy this album for $8. It's cheap. Anonymous people, show some love. Don't throw all your money to the bums who don't do anything except for leech off of Anonymous Day. I know you're making a demonstration and showing that you care for the poor, but it's time that we cared for our people and for each other. Support this artist and buy his album for $8. Or better yet, wait until he finishes the drop on the Anonymous Man album, which will be coming out probably in the next week or so, I imagine. Is that correct?
A little longer than that.
All right, that's
A little
fine.
longer.
That's fine. Well, it would be cool if you had some of the songs available.
Yes, that I will have. Yes.
For November 5th, because that's coming up on Sunday. And if
I will have. I will actually have an Anonymous Man will be on the site for sale for that time.
with the refined lyrics.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, I'm excited about that. Let's see what kind of time we're running here, man. I think we've almost made it at least to where we want to. Hey, 57 minutes, man. We almost made it to the 60-minute point. We got 48 minutes recorded. If you're ready to play us another jam, we're ready to listen to you, sir.
Chaos does the power flow where the wealth is maintained. Ever shall we bear the yoke as the swamp is drained? Media so compromised, made to hide the truth, swallowing blatant lies without a shred of proof. Do not question or ponder the things that don't make sense. Trust in what we tell you, ignore the evidence. In the ocean of deceit, who'll stand for us? Among the voices rising up, we hear anonymous. Take our taxes, take our land, take our sons to fight your plans. But when you die, for those who lie, no higher treason. We are legion, we are here, we are many, we are legion, awaken. Consider now the war on drugs, war on poverty. Consider us more dope and less prosperity. War on terror much the same, supposed to end the curse. Like these other bogus wars, the problem just got worse. They listen now to all we say and all for what we might do. Cause the gang that runs the show, the terrorist is you. The revolution has begun, it won't be like before. What you see, my friend, is an information war. Take our taxes, take our land, take our sons to fight your plans. But when you die, for those who die, no higher treason. We are legion, we are here, we are many, we are legion. Awaken, We are here. We are many. We are legion. Awaken. Prometheus defied the gods, shared the gift of fire. Anonymous reveals the way they lie, cheat and conspire. For those of us, the 1%, there's no greater threat than a people so enlightened by truthful internet. They're fearful that their gravy train might crash and burn. When we realize the perceived crime is what we learn. Battlefield is digital, so now it's plain to see. Those who suppress the truth and those who set us free. Take our taxes, take our land, take our sons to fight our plan. For those who die, those who lie, no higher treason. We are legion, we are here, we are many, we are legion. Awaken, we are here, we are many, we are legion. Awaken, we are here, we are many, we are legion.
Oh man, that was really fantastic. Hey, I didn't hear that one yet. That was fresh for me. That was so dope. That really expressed the heart and soul of Anonymous, and we're all carrying that responsibility and that duty. We're hackers. Some of us are ex-Marines. Some of us are intelligence people. Some of us are patriots. Some of us are musicians. There's the poor, the rich, the young, and old who make up the body of Anonymous. And it's such a live movement right now. And you have given voice to Anonymous, Scott. I have text on the screen right now with your name. It says Scott Howard, Anonymous Musician, http:// Buy the Zen of Planets album for $8 and stay tuned for Anonymous Man album. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great to have you. Is there anything else you want to say before I wrap up this broadcast today?
No, just I appreciate the opportunity to be on, and I do hope that you enjoy the music. That's all that matters is life, love, and music.
Hey, look, man, let's not make this like a one-time thing. George Norrie does Emerging Artists the first Sunday of every month on Coast to Coast. Let's have your people get with my people. Let's see what we can do, okay? I mean, let's make this shit real, because it's why talk about it when we can be about it? You know what I mean?
I agree. I'd love to do it. I'd love to send them my stuff. That'd be fabulous.
And we're gonna, and I'm just gonna ask your help to share this on different groups. Look for groups on Facebook. Start getting real handy with copy and pasting the link on Facebook. I'll show you how to do that, and we'll just push this out there, and we'll get you as much exposure as possible. All right?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, God bless you, man. God bless Anonymous. This is Robert Brooks Authement, Administrator for Cyberpunk Hacking Security and Intelligence, and True F Society, the F Society political and non-mainstream news media page, with our guest Scott Howard, our musician who is a seer and a vision and a lyrical prophet. And as a quick plug, I'm also the owner and operator of Brick House Limited Security and Intelligence. We create customized logistical and analytical solutions for our clients while developing innovation at a physical headquarters. And if you would like a security audit or consultation from me and my team of IT professionals who are in different places all around the globe, please get in touch with me, Robert Brooks Authement, presenting Scott Howard. Excellent work, sir. I applaud you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to stop this broadcast right now, but that certainly is not going to stop the movement, and we can do this again soon. Thank you so much for your effort and all the work that you put toward this. I know you were very excited. You did fantastic, and I will be sharing the media with you and with my audience online, sir.
Thank you. You take care now.
You too. Have a great rest of your week.